This just in, we know what the Warriors are gonna do with the #2 overall pick.
I feel like all the rest are like haters pretty much. Okay, never.
No, that's great.
Nah, don't put that. I ain't gonna get no more calls. Hell no.
No. Adrian Wojnarowski broke it down right after the draft lottery.
What is your biggest takeaway with the way the order panned out?
For Golden State at #2, that pick is going to be very much in play in the trade market.
Yes, they are trading the #2 overall pick in the draft. The Warriors don't want some young dude for the future. It's all about hanging another banner, the first one in San Francisco, not Oakland. The Dubs will get a win-now vet to continue the dynasty. In this video, we're breaking down the only realistic options for the Warriors in a trade. Who are they trading for? And what team will pick at #2 after all? Welcome to AM Hoops, it's Casey Kiernan. Hit subscribe and notification bells, it helps out the channel. We're coming out with 5 videos per week, always dropping at 5 Eastern. Today's video is brought to you by our Patreon subscribers, specifically Ilonas, who has his own channel on YouTube. It's a travel channel called Gigala Travel. He and his wife go around Europe. He's from Europe. The video is beautiful. It's like awesome 4K. It's all these cities that I've always wanted to go to. I've been to some, but I love travel channels, food channels, because I get to kind of live through them at places that I might want to go, and his channel is definitely worth checking out. I put the link down below in the description. Now, before we jump into some trade scenarios here, you have to know how this works. The Warriors have the #2 overall pick. Even though I predicted the Timberwolves will draft LaMelo Ball, I've also seen Anthony Edwards out there. Either way, 2 of the top 3 prospects are gonna be on the board, so the #2 pick is valuable. The Warriors can't just trade that for anyone though. They don't have any cap space. They can only get a guy making $17.2 million or less. That is the Andre Igodala trade exception, and if they don't use it, it's gonna expire. That means no big superstars like Giannis or Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. They can't even trade for Miles friggin' Turner. He makes $18 million. So how does that extend the dynasty? Oh, there's a way. There's always a way. If the Warriors combine the #2 pick with a big salary like Andrew Wiggins, they can land a superstar. So here's what we know. The Warriors are going to trade the #2 overall pick. Adrian Wojnarowski has all but said that out loud in his reports. He's close with the Warriors GM Bob Myers. So their 2 options here are trade for a guy who fits into that $17.2 million to add to Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins. So you've got a really good player to add to that core. Or you trade the #2 pick and one of those players, Steph, Clay, Draymond, or Wiggins, for a superstar. So here are the realistic trades. And let's start with just trading the #2 overall pick for TJ Warren. Warren has been the Pacers' best player in the bubble. He's averaged 31 points per game with decent defense. Pairing that 3-and-D wing with Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Andrew Wiggins would be special. The Pacers do this because they need to cut money with Victor Oladipo, expecting the max next summer. There's no better way to do it than trading TJ Warren. Indy got him for basically nothing from the Suns. So if they can flip that into the #2 overall pick, their front office guy, Kevin Pritchard, looks like a genius. Next, Robert Covington for the #2 overall pick. And don't think this is crazy. If the Rockets lose either to the Thunder, somehow, I know it's unlikely, or the Lakers in the 2nd round, Daryl Morey will do anything. You know he will. The Rockets haven't had young talent like a #2 overall pick in years. It would give them a different, exciting dynamic. Covington is less talented offensively than TJ Warren, but he's better on the defensive end. He would be an amazing addition to the Dubs starting rotation or off the bench. Laurie Markkanen for the #2 overall pick. The Bulls cut ties with Markkanen here because they don't want to pay him an extension. This gives a fresh start to a guy that we thought could turn into a legit all-star. The Warriors system is a lot more complex than just catch and shoot, which is why Markkanen regressed under Jim Boylen. This gives Laurie Markkanen a chance to show his entire skill set off again. I love the fit of Laurie Markkanen as a stretch 5, which he plays about a quarter of the time anyway, or as a power forward in Golden State. The Bulls will be getting the #2 pick in 2020, and they already have the #4 pick. They could have an exciting young team, or pair those two for an established stars. And speaking of stars, no better way to reignite the Dubs dynasty than trading for a legitimate all-star. But we already explained they can't just trade for anyone. They need to attach a really big salary, most likely either Andrew Wiggins or Draymond Green, right? Plus the number 2 overall pick. But then you can't just trade for anyone. I mean, they're not going to get LeBron James or Pascal Siakam. Those guys aren't available. So you have to look at who is available out there that you can match salary with. And good news for them, there might be one team with multiple available stars. Joel Embiid for Andrew Wiggins and 3 first-round picks. This is the Sixers breaking up Embiid and Simmons and betting on Ben. Embiid might be more talented than Ben Simmons, but his health is a bigger wild card. They move Al Horford to full-time center, Tobias Harris to the 4, Wiggins to the 3, then Philly drafts either Ball or Anthony Edwards, who can run their offense for the future. On the Warriors, Joel Embiid would bring 3 more titles if healthy. He is that good. He's the best defensive center in the league. His offense is elite and versatile. Health and consistency are his question marks, but I think flipping to the best winning culture in the NBA would turn around Embiid's mentality. I think Embiid the Warrior is the best possible version of the big man. Ben Simmons for Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, and 4 first-round picks. Now, before anyone says this is too much to give up, consider that Ben Simmons is under contract for 5 more years. The Dubs are getting one of the best young players in the game, and that costs a ton. Obviously, Simmons is staying at power forward in this scenario for the Warriors. Brett Brown experimented with that before Simmons' injury. Finding a defensive replacement for Simmons will be impossible for Philly. In San Francisco, Simmons' defense fits right in though. They were one of the best on D during their title years. His offensive talents are elite, especially in transition, which fits the Dubs' DNA too. Everyone in Golden State can shoot, so even if Simmons doesn't turn into a stretch 4, the spacing is not a killer like it's been in Philly. And finally from Philly, Tobias Harris for Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, and 2 first-round picks. This might actually be the trade that's most realistic. Tobias gets paid like a number 1 in Philly. He's a number 3 on a championship team at best. So in Golden State, he would thrive in the proper role again. The Sixers would love to get this awful contract off their books, and the Dubs do it because it gives them a chance to hang at least one more banner, which is priceless. Toby is a 20-point-per-game guy who is a decent passer and shooter. His maturity and leadership would be welcome in the Warriors culture. And finally, you knew it was in this video, Giannis Antetokounmpo for Andrew Wiggins and 4 first-round picks. This is the most the Warriors can give with what they have to offer. And I agree, Giannis is worth more than this in a trade, but maybe his trade value is lowered if he demands a trade and says he will only re-sign with Golden State. I know it's a long shot, but that's the only way that this trade could ever happen in the first place. Giannis has said multiple times, winning is the most important thing to his career. Over loyalty, over money. If the Bucks lose in the finals or even before that, Giannis could demand a trade and he could become a Warrior. So Adrian Wojnarowski told us they are going to trade this number 2 overall pick, and I expect one of these scenarios to be finalized before the draft this summer. The Warriors are in position to flip one of the worst seasons they've had in forever to a trade that could extend the dynasty. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.